However, I think my journey of learning English started way back when I was a kid. My grandmom, she used to love telling stories, about Rama and Mahabharat and all
Right.
the stories. So I used to love listening to stories. And then coincidentally, my Mamaji used to live with us because he was doing his graduation, he was completing his graduation from Darjeeling only. And he used to read a lot of book. He used to read novels and he used to read fiction and lot of different kind of novels. So I was very interested in that, and he introduced me to reading. So I think that was the first thing. So I started reading. I used to love the reading concept. And, as a kid, very funny thing I used to do is I used to invent my own words. I used to talk to myself. I used to invent my own words and I used to pretend that I'm very good at it.
Everything is good, of course. How's everything there?
Everything is fine. A bit busy. Like today, it was very busy because we had some program in the municipality. My parents are not here in hometown right now, so I had to go attend, see the thing, and then we wanted to go for outing. Me, my cousin, and a friend. We went out. Went to eat something. We wanted to eat some junk food. We wanted to do some catching up with some friends and just chit chatting, and I was expecting to be back early, but I think we got carried away in the conversation, so I came back pretty late. So yeah, that's why the late night call today.
No worries. That's totally all right. Definitely. So you love outing, right?
Depends, entirely depends upon my mood when I'm at home. But yes, I do like to travel. I like going out and I like meeting people. But again, because I'm in my hometown, it becomes more like I'm more lazy and I want to just relax, and I'm mostly home and doing my work and all. So yeah, weekends I'm fine because then my cousin, he's also free and my friend is also free, and weekends are more relaxed and more chilled. So yeah, during the weekends you can always go out and have some fun. I think it's important to unwind as well.
That
What
sounds cool. Exactly.
what do you do, Lakhan, besides the YouTube videos and all?
I mean, apart from videos, I do love teaching. Like I've been teaching different kind of websites, English teaching, all the languages. So that's what it's my profession, full-time profession as teacher. YouTube, it was my hobby, and I already selected as a career. It couldn't like completely. I don't know. I mean, it's a bit complicated nowadays to making a career. I had a plan completely on YouTube. Even I have right now, but of course, it's not easy to just get that much income or that much like money that you can carry.
Uh-huh.
Whatever you can go ahead with your all expenses. So, but beside Preply, it's better because of the Preply is giving me that much that I can manage my family too, right? If I will do so. But I have a plan in future. So YouTube would be as career, of course, for me. Then it's much better for me, of course. And
Oh,
that's all I think simple about me.
so Preply is an app. It's an online thing. I have not
Yeah,
heard
it's
about
it's
it.
really international. It's a really international kind of online academy. Like you can teach more than 100 subjects, right? Languages
Wow.
included too. So,
Wow. And
right.
what language do you teach? Is it just English or any other language?
Well, if we can talk particular things, so I mean, on platform, that's only one I teach on Preply. Beside, there
Mhm.
are a lot of platforms there. I teach two other languages. Like I speak like Sindhi language as related our local language, Sindhi Urdu language. These languages I teach too. Hindi I know, but I mean Hindi is similar, right? So I know Hindi too.
Yeah.
So I did teach, but not anymore. I'm teaching English is
Oh,
much
okay.
better. So,
English is better.
what do you do exactly? I mean, would you like to introduce yourself? But
Yeah, sure. So, I don't know, when somebody tells me introduce yourself, what do you do? I feel it's a little complicated answer for me because I have done my education. I to become an HR, as in I have done my MBA and I worked as an HR for 9, 10 years. And then I took a career break. And after my career break, I wanted to, again start working. So then, what happens in the market, especially for HR and few professions, when you have that break, it's very difficult to again get back. So at that point of time, I got the opportunity to, join a school. It's an IB school where the curriculum is more on experiential learning. The way you teach is through experiential learning and all. So I said, fine, let's do this. It's something new. So that's how I got into education industry 3 years back. And again, in between, just recently, some because of some medical issues in the family, I decided to leave the job because it was either my family is here in West Bengal and I work in Delhi, so it was either I go back there or I stay here, take care of my dad.
Correct.
So I decided, okay, I think I can take that break again. So I took that break. But now what I do is I basically coach people. I teach English. I do that online. I have my own coaching thing. So I am not associated with any platform, but I have been thinking about it, but I'm still contemplating whether I should join a platform or not. But currently, yes, I do teach people and I do coaching and I teach them English. So it's a group coaching or it's in, one-on-one coaching. So whatever the student prefer. So that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah. And of course, the YouTube is there. I think YouTube is more of a marathon, like you said, it's very hard. Yeah, it is very hard. I for 6 months I've been
Right.
struggling to get the views, and then you really don't know what works and what does not, especially if you're very new to the platform. So yeah, I've been trying that out. But I think it's fun because I get to learn new things. It's when it's YouTube, it's not just teaching, it's not just what you're teaching them. I think it's the way you're delivering it. It's how you're editing it. It's a lot of things. The lighting, the sounds, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and sometimes it's very difficult. But I think I'm enjoying the process. I like it. I think it takes out the creative side of me. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. So let's see where it takes me. Like I have in my head that yeah, it's a marathon. So slow and steady, slow and steady. Yeah.
That's good. That's great, Amrita. Do you know always that great things takes time, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, YouTube is kind of
True.
great. Maybe it would be taking time, but I think it will provide you something, any, I mean, a special thing that someone is not providing or anything is not providing you, right? So maybe it will give you more comfort in future, right? If you become better, successful, I mean,
Of
you'll be having
course.
fame, you'll be having
Mhm.
money, you will be having relax a lot of time too. You can
True,
hire a lot
true,
of
true,
things. So
true, true. But you know what? When I chose YouTube, in fact, I wanted to start my YouTube back in 2017. I had everything planned and, like everything. But I don't know. I think we as human beings, we tend to underestimate ourselves a lot. We tend
mhm,
to undermine ourselves a lot. We think the other person is always better than you. Yeah. So I think a
right.
lot of
That's
procrastination happened at that point of time. And but finally when I decided, I was like very sure that this is the thing that I want to do, because there were a lot of things that I wanted to do. There were 2 3 niches that I had shortlisted. But then ultimately I said, no, I think I want to teach English because I know how it has changed my life. I know how it has affected me positively, and when you are able to teach that to somebody else. And for me, of course, the subscribers do matter, like at the end of the day, I think they really do matter in the YouTube. But even if you have 5 10 people connected with you, and if you're able to change somebody's life and honestly build that connection with your subscribers, I think that is what really matters. And if you're able to help somebody, like I know there was recently this girl who got in touch with me in YouTube. She had commented something, and then I said, okay, whatever, I will see how I can help in the future and all that. But she was so relentless, she messaged me in Instagram, and then she would just not leave me. No, no, no. I just want to talk to you once. Talk to me once. Talk to me once. Like, I have this problem. I have that problem. Please help me out. And I was like, and I was not at that point of time. I did not have that bandwidth, to take another student. So I was like, okay. But when I spoke to her, like, I really felt good. I was like, okay, what I'm doing, it might not right now look like I'm making any difference, but there are people who think that I can help them, and they are, finding my videos helpful, and they are finding some hope in those videos. And when I speak and
Right.
when I am coming and recording it, and I think that really helped me. That particular one conversation with that a person made me realize that you should never underestimate yourself. One, and two, there's so many people who want your help, and if you do
Right.
not put yourself out there to help those people, it is so unfair, because for whatever reason, you might have had that advantage of learning or knowing better English, and for whatever reason the other person might not have had that opportunity in life, and when somebody comes to you as a seeker and really wants to learn that, I think it becomes a duty to help them. And I mean, I'm not saying it just to, sound good and sound nice, but that day I
Right.
really realized that, no, yeah, I mean, I cannot take myself lightly. I have to really be there for people who, want to learn from me. So, yeah, I think that was a turning point for me where I really realized that where I really realized the power of YouTube, you know, because right now, whatever you are doing, few people, few student, whatever number of student you have, it's just in silo that you're doing, But when you're putting out content in the internet, the whole world is there to look at you, to judge you,
Right.
to point out your mistakes and everything. And in that scenario, when somebody comes up to you and say, I'm looking up to you, and I want to learn from you, it's a big responsibility.
Right.
Very, very big
Very.
responsibility. So sometimes I get very anxious when I'm putting videos and all. I'm like, I have to check 10 times, did I say anything wrong? Because sometimes what happens, like when we are talking, because it's not a native language, right? We are not native
Right.
speakers, we are not native speakers. So there are times, like, even if you know English, sometimes you tend to say something which might not be correct. Like
Right.
sometimes
Right.
your tenses might not be correct, sometimes the articles might not be correct. So that gives me a lot of anxiety sometimes when I see in the video, oh no, I have said something wrong, and I realize I've said it wrong, and like I'm like, okay, now what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So yeah, I don't know. I'm just rambling, I think.
No, that's I mean exactly what happens when we don't have something is on, like as you said, is not a native language. So in that case, of course, it's complicated. Sometimes we feel, oh, I mean, I just made a mistake there, right? So we feel like that most of the time. Then we realize, yeah, it was our mistake. I mean, this is what I think. As I personally believe, there are only three things that we have to learn from mistake. First of all,
Mhm.
you have to just, if you just made a mistake, you have to accept your mistake. Second thing, you have
Yes.
to learn from mistake. Third thing, you do not repeat your mistake, right? So these things, we
Right.
only 3 points we can learn from mistake.
Mhm.
So that's what I
Mhm.
think. I believe
True.
mistake
True.
are, you're like, you can learn from mistake, you can grow. So
True.
that's it.
Absolutely.
I have another question for you, Nimrita. So
Yeah.
turning to the next question, I have been thinking to ask you this question. So as you are so good at English, right? So just let me ask you, how did you improve your English, like, and how long it took? I mean, you are at the level of, according to my point of view, I just see yourself as a good, like, teacher too, of course, as you are, you said. So it took you a lot. I mean, you've been doing a study for hours for years, right?
Yeah, I think I would really credit it to my parents somehow. So I'm the first generation. Me, my siblings, we are the first generation who speak fluent English, right? My parents, they can't speak very fluent English. Yeah, they understand, but they can't. So my parents were very particular when we were kids that our children will study in an English medium school, and they will study in the best school, possible. So
Mhm.
initially, I was studying in a local school, of course, in our locality. But then they really wanted me to go to convent. So they were trying every year, and it's not easy to get in a convent school. At least back then it was not. It's still not easy right now, also. So they really wanted me to. So I got admission when I was in class six. However, I think my journey of learning English started way back when I was a kid. My grandmom, she used to love telling stories, about Rama and Mahabharat and all
Right.
the stories. So I used to love listening to stories. And then coincidentally, my Mamaji used to live with us because he was doing his graduation, was completing his graduation from Darjeeling only. And he used to read a lot of book. He used to read novels, and he
Mhm.
used to read fiction and lot of different kind of novels. So I was very interested in that, and he introduced me to reading. So I think that was the first thing. So I started reading. I used to love the reading concept. And, as a kid, very funny thing I used to do is I used to invent my own words. I used to talk to myself. I used to invent my own words, and I used to pretend that I'm very good at English and all. I used to stand in front of the mirror and talk to myself. And then I think, what you really want, you attracted in your life also. So I got, when I joined convent, my friend circles were such who always used to speak in English. And in fact, till date, when we meet, we still speak in English, though our mother tongue is the same, we still speak in English. So it's so ingrained in us that we still speak in
Yep.
English. We don't speak in our mother tongue. So I think first was reading. I was an avid reader, and then I used to speak a lot. And then because I was reading as well, and I used to love stories, I used to love reading poetry, so I used to write poetries. So there was one of my teacher, my English teacher, I used to show those poetries to her. I used to say, ma'am, I've written something, can you please correct it? So she used to correct it every time. And I got to know, okay, here is what I have, this is the mistake I have made
Mhm.
over here. So I think that's what got me also going. So I had this combination of reading, speaking, writing, and my brother, because he was in hostel. And you know how guys are when they are in hostel, they listen to English
Right.
songs, and they are very I think they are very well aware about all this English series and movies and everything. So he used to talk about these things, and when he used to come home, he used to see those series in English. And otherwise, at my home, it was all Sas Bahu series and all that we used to watch. But when my brother used to come, he used to watch those English series and all. So I think a combination of a lot of these things really helped me, upgrade myself or upgrade my English. So that's how it happened. And even till date, what I tell my students as well, that if you want to improve your English, just speaking is not going to help you, or just sitting and mugging up the rules of grammar is not going to help you, unless and until you apply all these four things, which are the pillar of any language. Like even as a kid, when we are learning our own mother tongue, we listen, then we start reading, we start writing, and then finally we start speaking. So this is a foreign language. If you want to learn, you just can't say, okay, I'm just going to talk and that's how I'm going to improve my English. You have to do a combination of all these four things, whether you like it or not. So yeah, this combination of these four things is how my English improved. I'm giving such long answers to your questions now.
No, that's cool. I mean, I'm just enjoying the story that you've been making in a more detail. I mean, that's much better when you listen something in a more deep detail. I mean, you will observe. I mean, something in imagine to reality, something like that, right? So that's, I mean,
Yeah.
more interesting.
Yeah, like I said, no, like I love listening to stories. I also, I think, love telling stories, especially about
No,
my
that's you
childhood.
are.
Yeah.
Seems like good.
Mm.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Exactly. That's nice. So, Nimrata, as you've been saying, you are a teacher, right? So, how do you help like your students, and how do you suggest also the subscribers must be watching you, right? So, what do you suggest them to improving their English? I mean, nowadays most of people they have been trying several kind of things. I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
are really not improving. I mean, they don't have kind of feelings that oh they improved. maybe something is
Mhm.
happening. So what do you
Mhm.
think about that?
So this is a strategy that I've really tried with two of my cousins. One is, when we speak our native language, there's something called MTI, mother tongue influence, right? We all tend to have a very strong mother tongue influence. That's what affects our pronunciation, and that is what affects our accent and all that. So what I tell them is, first of all, is you need to be aware that whether you have a strong MTI or not, and if you have it, once you accept it, you can work around it. And the second thing, what I tell them is practice. And practice, when my cousin, he was looking for job, he used to get rejected in job, Um, sometimes when he used to go for call center jobs or other jobs also, most of the time he used to get rejected, saying that you have got mother tongue influence if he's going for a BPO interview, or if he's going for some other company, international companies and all, he used to get rejected because his communication was not strong. So I always say that if you want to improve, first of all, you should know how to convey your thoughts. And in order to convey your thoughts, you don't need to have all the vocabulary of the world. There's a simple
Right.
rule. When I was completing my English honors in graduation, my professor, she used to tell us that if you want to improve your English, there is a simple strategy of KISS, which is keep it simple, stupid, right? So when you keep things simple, is when you learn. Don't try to impress somebody by using all impressive words and all. It's first
Mhm.
important to baby steps, very simple.
Right.
You first start speaking very simply, and then you start making combination. Like, I'll give you an example with my cousin. What I did is, I used to give him a topic every day, and he used to be home, and when I was in the office, I used to tell him, okay, I'm going for work right now. When I come back in the evening, I want you to complete these things. So he had to choose a topic, research on this topic, and write about this topic. But when he is writing, he can research from anywhere. But when you're writing, you have to write in your own words. You have to express it in your own words. And once you've done the writing part, you're going to read it out loud in front of the mirror, like as if you
Right.
are speaking in front of audience. And then once you have done that speaking practice, record yourself. So once you record it, you listen to yourself, you know and then see where you're going wrong, or what you're not liking about the recording that you've heard. Like, when you're just listening to it, it's called the audiovisual imaging, like wherein you're
Right.
just listening to your voice, and you're getting the impression. Okay, what am I saying? Am I saying it correctly? How am I sounding? What is the impression that I'm getting when I'm listening to myself? That's the first part. And then you again look at it's a video recording that you do. Then you look at yourself, and then you see the whole thing, the recorded thing. And that's the visual thing. So when you look at it, you look at your expression, you look at your body language, and then you decide for yourself, okay, how am I sounding and how am I looking? Once you have decided, you write down all the mistakes that you transcribe the video, basically. Whatever you've
Mhm.
spoken, you transcribe it. And then you see whether you have used a lot of fillers, or whether you have made grammatical mistakes, and then you correct it. And then again, you repeat that process every day. It may sound like it's a lot of work, but it hardly takes 5-10 minutes a day, just 5-10 minutes a day, because it'll just take you 2-3 minutes to write a paragraph. Yeah, and then record it, listen to it, and then again, okay, see what are the mistakes you've done. And the power of writing down your mistake is that your brain remembers that, okay, these are the mistakes that I have done, and I'm not supposed to repeat it again. You might repeat it again, but when you repeat this process over and over and over and over and over again, your your brain is subconsciously conditioned in such a way that, okay, this is a mistake, I'm not supposed to do it. So it is, once you immerse yourself in that, the other, you do the repetition. Once you immerse yourself into something and then you're repeating it again and again, and then you master it. Even in school, uh, that's the system basically students are taught. They immerse into a subject, they repeat those things. What is knowledge? Knowledge is basically memorizing the stuffs, right? It's nothing
Right.
else if you look at it logically. And once you have memorized it, you become a master of it. Yeah, so that's how I think learning a language, learning English would work. Write it down, speak in front of the mirror, record it, listen to yourself, look at your body language, write down the mistakes that you've done, and try and not repeat that again. And do this every day for 30 days. Also, if you do it, you'll see a vast difference in the way you talk, in the way you conduct yourself, and the way you express yourself. It is really going to help. I've tried this with two of my cousin, and it has really worked. And this is most of the time. This is what I make my students also do. But it's a fast food generation, so everybody wants
Fast food
fast
generation.
result. Yeah. So I tell them that it's not a fast food. It's not something I'm going to cook and give
Yep.
it to you. You have to work. So yeah, there's nothing like you can learn something in 30 days or 60 days. Like when we are in an education system, 10 plus 12, 10 plus 2, 12 years, and graduation, minimum 15 years we take to learn something. And here, if you are
Right.
coming with an expectation that, okay, in 30 days I'm going to ace the language, it's not going to happen. It can help you, but you have to put that consistent hard work, and the consistency is very important. And that's what I feel. Yeah,
Important.
like again,
Exactly.
a very long answer.
No, that's cool, of course. In the detail, as I already mentioned, that much better. So I would say that it was very good that you've been mentioning such kind of things. But most of the students, I mean, as you too mentioned that you said everyone wants fast result. Same like I mean, most of people nowadays, if they want to find a work online, so they just think that, oh, I just work and I can earn money right now. Most of the, I mean,
True.
this is same like is a story in English. People just want,
Mm-hmm.
I can practice today, I will become better. The
Mm-hmm.
two misunderstood, I mean, misunderstanding people they have. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's complicated. I mean, kind of rocket science, but I don't know how they can just figure it
Mm-hmm.
out. But I hope they will do. I don't want to take your more time because of you are having a very, I mean, maybe there is more than 11 o'clock. You will be hitting the sec,
Oh,
right?
yeah, it's
So you'll
11.
be going to. But thanks a lot. I really appreciate it from my bottom heart, and I love to see you soon again. Hear
Thank you
each other.
so much, Lakan. Thank you so much for having me. I was surprised and I was humbled when I got your message. Because generally it's me who is telling people, "Can I have a collab with you? Can I please have a collab with you?" And here you were like, "Hey, can we just have a collab?" And I was like, "Wow!" Like because I know, like I have a couple of friends who have big channels and doing very well, and so, but then when
Yeah,
but then when people reach out to you and they genuinely want to connect with you, it is so humbling. It is really humbling, and
cool.
thank you so much for reaching out. I'm honored.
That's always pleasure of mine, of course. And I hope that we'll be meeting soon. It's pleasure to meet you
Yes,
too again. Thanks a lot for your
yes.
precious time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good night for you. Have a good night. Take
Yeah,
care.
thank you. Okay, bye bye.
Thanks.